Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back to Reject Films. Back with another couple random reviews for you guys. Just hanging out on a lazy Sunday afternoon. And yeah, let's get into these. Before we do me a favor, guys, and hit that subscribe button. And if you're feeling a little frisky, go ahead and hit the like button as well. And I'm trying to hit maybe 1,000 subs by the end of the year. That would be awesome. So if you guys could help me out and hit that button, it'd be great. If not, it's cool too. Alright, anyway, got two films here, two completely different movies. This first one here, probably one of the most controversial movies of 2019. It was on a lot of people's top 10 lists for best movie and a lot of people's top 10 lists for worst movie. So it's definitely one I had to check out for myself. I never go by what other people say. If I really want to see something and it looks interesting, I'm just going to fucking watch it anyways. So, that is The Lighthouse, as you already know by the thumbnail, which two movies I'm reviewing anyways. But, yeah, I had to grab this one because of everything I've been hearing about it. You know, it's anywhere from best picture to worst picture and, really kind of artsy or pretentious or whatever. Something nobody was ever mentioning, though, is that it's a remake of the 2016 UK film of the same name. I had no idea it was a remake until I bought it and, looked up this movie on IMDb to see what rating it had on there and stuff and everything, and saw that there was a 2016 film from the same title. It sounds a little bit different than this as far as the storyline. There's more characters in it. This only focuses on these two characters. There's actually only 3 people in the cast. These two here and a mermaid that appears to Pattinson's character in the film. So there's nobody really in this movie but these two. I'll go ahead and do like I normally do on these random reviews. I'm just going to read you guys the synopsis on the back and tell you some quick thoughts. I'm going to try to keep this around 10 minutes between the two films and, not go too deep into the story. You guys already know the story of this, but let's go ahead and attempt to read the back if I can read today. From Robert Eggers, the visionary filmmaker behind the modern horror masterpiece The Witch, comes this hypnotic and hallucinatory tale of 2 lighthouse keepers, played by Willem Dafoe and Robert Pattinson, on a remote and mysterious New England island in the 1890s. As an approaching storm threatens to sweep them from the rock and strange apparitions emerge from the fog, each man begins to suspect the other has become dangerously unmoored. I can't read very well, but I try. But, yeah, like I said, this focuses really just on these two characters. I was trying to get it to stand up, but it doesn't want to anymore. Let's put it down. So, with that being said, as you guys have probably heard, this film does not take up the whole screen. It's shot like old school. I did watch some behind the scenes and stuff, and they used the blue lenses and everything, and they used some original lenses from back in like the old days and everything, which was pretty cool that they really put in a lot of effort to make this look like a movie that was shot back in like the 1930s or something like that. And you really do get that effect. I hear a lot of people saying, they wish they would have put this out on 4K. I myself don't think it would have really made much of a difference being on 4K because of the lenses that they used and everything. Yes, your older black and white films do look a little bit better in 4K, but this was also shot with digital in there as well. So an old, 16 millimeter black and white film or something like that, upscaled to 4K, would probably look pretty good compared to what we had back then. Anyway, I could be completely wrong. So, with only having these two characters in this film, having just the center of the TV with the black bars on the side as opposed to top and bottom, really works well for this film, though, because you're really feeling their claustrophobia as well. You're really just focused in on these two characters in these small rooms and everything like that, and you really feel the tensions and everything a lot more that way. I feel like if it would have been in your standard widescreen like we have nowadays, that you wouldn't have really felt as much tension between these two characters. But again, that's just my own personal thoughts. So it did bother me a little bit at first, but I've seen other movies like this as well. And after about 5 or 10 minutes, you're just not even paying attention anymore. you're just so focused on what's going on, as long as it's an intriguing story and you're really into what's going on. There's just a lot of banter back and forth between the two. Willem Dafoe treats Pattinson's character pretty harshly throughout the movie, and then once you get about an hour into it, when things really start happening, and they both start losing their minds, it starts going both ways as far as people giving each other shit or whatever. But yeah, I really enjoyed this movie. I think it is a very well done film. I was a huge fan of The Witch when it came out. I know it was another one that a lot of people really loved or really hated, not much in between, just like I feel like there is for this film. I really liked it, and it's one I'm definitely going to watch again for sure, as there's a lot of things I'm sure that I missed. I think both actors, especially Dafoe in this, probably his best performance, again, in my opinion. I've never been like a huge fan of Dafoe, but I've always kind of liked his roles. He's really weird a lot of times, but I think he had the old sea captain jargon down pretty good in this. And Pattinson, I was not a fan of his when he came out with the in the Twilight movies and everything like that. But I think, like, along the lines of DiCaprio, Matt Damon, all those guys that were like teenage heartthrobs or whatever when they first got real famous, that he's really matured and become a better actor like them too as well. And you've seen it with other actors as well. But I really didn't know if he was going to be able to make that transition into making more adult films and everything as he got older, but he's definitely proven me wrong in that. He did a fantastic job in this film as well, and I look forward to what else he starts doing. Kind of like, hope he takes the path of like Elijah Wood and does more of the darker horror films and everything like that. I wouldn't consider this one necessarily a horror film. I know it was on people's lists for horror films for 2019, but I consider it more of a drama in that first half, and then when it gets really crazy, there is some horror elements there towards the end, or what is going on is horrific things happening, but it's definitely more of a drama and kind of mystery, thriller type film than it is horror. But I highly recommend this one, guys. Like I said, I don't think it's pretentious at all. I think the director, what was his name again? Robert Eggers, has a great future ahead of him as long as he keeps doing what he wants to do and is passionate about and doesn't listen to critics and everything. I don't think he's going to go that route, because I know The Witch had the same kind of response as this, going towards being bashed and then being loved and everything. So I think he is going to continue to make films that he is passionate about and in a way that he loves making them. So I look forward to what he has up next for us. So yeah, again, highly recommend The Lighthouse, guys. It's not a very expensive buy either, because it's an A24 title, and a lot of times they only come with just the Blu-ray, and with that, they're always under the $20 mark or around there. I think this was like $16. I could be wrong, but they do come with the code as well. So if you guys are like me and you sell the codes or give them away or whatever, I personally don't use digital copies, so I have no use for them. I may start giving them away at some point, doing contests or something. But yeah, again, definitely worth the price, and owning this, it's one you'll want to watch more than one time. So highly recommend that one. I guess this is going to be way longer than 10 minutes. I don't know what I was thinking. Anyway, moving on. Next we have Trick. I'd heard some decent things about this and some not so decent things. It's another RLJ Entertainment title, which a lot of their titles that I've seen so far have been around the 5 or 6 out of 10, ranking or whatever. And, like, this is a 4.9 on IMDb. Somewhere around a 5 for your modern day horror films is pretty average. I don't expect them to be anything spectacular as far as story or acting or anything like that. So with that being said, I hadn't really seen any trailers for this or anything like that purposely. if I was watching another RLJ title and I saw a trailer coming on for it, I would skip it because I knew this is one I wanted to watch going in, not knowing anything about the film whatsoever. All I saw before I watched it is it had the 4.9 rating, so I'm like, okay, this is going to be another, modern day slasher with some decent kills, and, you're just going to be entertained. And that's exactly what this delivered. And the other reason I bought this is because if you look at the cast, you got Omar Epps, Jamie Kennedy, Tom Atkins, and from the director of the My Bloody Valentine remake, which I really loved as a remake, probably one of my favorite remakes. Tom Atkins is only in this for probably 5 minutes total. So if you guys are really looking forward to seeing him in something that's kind of like, what was it, The New Kids, I think he was in, just at the very beginning. That's about how long you get him in for this. Maybe a little bit longer than that. But Jamie Kennedy plays a doctor in this who doesn't get a whole lot of screen time either, longer than Atkins had. But he does play, without trying to give too much away, he does actually play more of an important role than he's led to believe. And then Omar Epps plays the main character of a detective who gives pretty much a just kind of their performance. For being a bigger name like that, I think he probably took this role just to get paid, and I don't think he was really into it. I could be completely wrong, but I do love this slipcover too. It has that really soft fill finish to it. This feels really nice. It has like some gloss on the eyes here. This one here, until the end, and I figured out what was going on, which I kind of had an insight on, but it's kind of like a modern day if Michael Myers was. I'll go ahead and read it back to you guys before I get into that. So on Halloween night in 2015, Patrick Trick Weaver massacred his classmates at a costume party. After being arrested, he managed to escape police custody, but not before being shot 5 times by Detective Mike Denver, which in the movie he says that he shot him 3 times. Even my kid caught on to that. Everyone believes Trick must be dead, but when a mass killer reappears the following Halloween and every Halloween after that, they realize the nightmare is not over, with Trick wreaking havoc and killing people in increasingly terrifying ways. Denver will stop at nothing to finish what he started and bring the carnage to an end. So, yeah, anyway. Now I completely forgot where I was before I read that. But, yeah, he plays the main detective in this film. And like I just read to you guys, it's from 2015 on, every Halloween. A couple things happened, like, right before Halloween night to let them know that he is back in town or whatever, and he's killing everybody in small towns along this line of the ocean or whatever, river, I can't remember, I think it's the river, and he's kind of going in a pattern, so they know where he's going to kind of hit next, and they kind of go back and forth, kind of like some cat and mouse, going back and forth between Denver, played by Epps, and Trick, the killer in this. I think he was enjoying taunting him, everything like that. But I'll try not to spoil too much and everything like that. I don't think I did last time, but I will try to leave links to the trailers below. I'm not going to put them in there because if you guys have not seen this movie or not watched the trailer, you're definitely going to be a little more surprised like I was and what happens. But I will say I loved the how quick the killer was. It was a very fast killer. Like I started saying before, it's like if Michael Myers was fast, it would kind of be like this because he moves really quickly and everything like that. And it's like every Halloween, so it's, and they talk briefly about him being like pure evil, kind of like Myers. So there is some references to that kind of film and everything. But I love the kills in this. Some of them are just really over the top and gruesome. I love the way the blood looked and everything like that. It's definitely not for the faint of heart. The only complaints I have, again, is you don't really care about the characters. You don't give a shit about Denver or the other main cop, the female cop that he's with. I forget her name. You don't really care about anybody in this movie at all. The storyline is something left to be more desired, but without giving too much away, it's kind of like a just because. There's no real rhyme or reason to why all these killings are happening and everything. It's just because, just to have people, just for people to have that fear. And there's no other real reason. So, yeah, but I highly recommend this one. If you guys are looking for something that's just a really good time and definitely a little bit original with the kills and everything. I mean, there's so many horror movies that have been made, so many ways you can kill somebody in a movie. But I really like I said, I like the fastness of the knife and everything, and that's the only weapon really used in here besides a couple other things. But, you know, you don't have a lot of gunplay or anything like that. I think killers using a knife to kill is much more personal and much more brutal than any other thing, especially when they, like, look you in the eyes as you're dying or something. It's just a lot more, you know, messed up. But, yeah, again, I recommend this one, guys. This was only like $12 at Walmart, and I believe they still have them up there. It might have been like $12.96 or something. For that price, definitely grab this one. I wouldn't even waste time streaming it because you're going to be paying, you know, probably half that to stream it unless it's on. I think I hear this might be on Hulu. I haven't checked Hulu to see. If $12 is too much for you guys to take a gamble, then check it out on there first. But I think this is one that I would watch every year around Halloween because, I mean, it takes place on Halloween. And love the mask and stuff in here as well, and the environment and everything. I think it's very well done. If you guys are fans of My Bloody Valentine, he also did Drive Angry with Nicolas Cage. He did the Dracula 2000 and a couple of its sequels and things like that. The only downside of this director that I've seen so far is that he was the writer for Terminator Genisys, which, the weakest of the Terminator movies as far as storyline. I can't fucking stand that movie. But, yeah, like I said, I really loved My Bloody Valentine. I had a good time with Drive Angry, so I knew going into this that it was at least going to be fun and entertaining. So, and I'm curious to see if they continue this franchise. I hope it turns into a franchise, should I say. Again, highly recommend this one. So 2 of them here I recommend purchasing, as long as you know what you're getting into. You're getting into something a little different with the Lighthouse, and it's not going to be for everybody. It's definitely not. But as long as you know what kind of film you're getting into, it's definitely a very talky movie. It is definitely something where you have to, not everything is explained. And if black and white bothers you, don't watch it. If your films have to fill up the entire screen, don't watch it. If you have to be told every single thing that's going on in this film, don't fucking watch it. Just go into this and know what you're getting into and be prepared for something where you may have to have subtitles on, like I hear a lot of people did with The Witch. I did not with that one, and I did not with this one, but I still understood enough of what they were saying, especially with Defoe's character. There's some old pirate lingo and stuff going on in there, and I got the basis of what he was saying. Again, one I will watch again. And you know what you're getting into with Trick is just a bloody good time, some good kills, and highly entertaining. So, yeah, definitely recommend both of these films. A24 continues to do a great job on their releases. There's only a few that I haven't really cared for too much. And RLJ is really stepping it up with, you know, the horror films and everything. They showed a trailer on here to the movie The Shed I really want to check out. And, my only complaint about theirs is no digital copies, so of course I don't use them. So, but for those of you that do, it's kind of, you know, but they're priced, you know, right, and it is only the Blu-ray on here as well. So for $12, I'm not going to complain too much about it only being a Blu-ray with no digital, because that's all I really care about. Anyways, they do have nice slip covers, so that suits me perfectly. But let me know if you guys have seen either one of these films and what you guys think of them. And I'll see you guys on the next video. Peace, love, happiness to everybody. Bye.